Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your boy JD, and I'm here live on Kegheads. It's a little weird because it's Tuesday. You know, we normally be on AT Birds, but man, we got a special guest. My guy had to signal the back signal for him to get him in here, man. But we got Prince Blue. What's up, Prince?
What man? The
Yo, for whatever reason, I heard like 3% of what you said. I don't know what's going on with the sound, but maybe they can hear you.
Hold on.
Maybe they can grab you. But guy, while he getting his sound situated, man, this is the KK's Thunderdome. So we're gonna be we're gonna have overreactions. We're gonna be outraged tonight. We're gonna just kind of give you something to chew on because our regular show got kind of pushed aside because the Phillies are playing right now, and Chip is like trying to get that done. He's a baseball head, so he's definitely doing that right now. So I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity. You on mute.
I said, is he a baseball head or does he have a baseball head?
It's probably a little bit of both. I love Chip, but that's my guy. So I'm hoping that he at some point he'll jump in and just say his piece because we got some really good topics here. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the college game. We're gonna talk about Deion because Deion has like been. Y'all haven't heard your take on Prime yet. Haven't heard your take on Prime. We're gonna talk a little bit about college football, college a little bit of getting ready for college baseball, basketball, and all that stuff. And we got my boy Eric B checking in from Community Balling tonight, man. Dude runs an amazing program. So if you're in the area, Greer, you looking for somewhere to hoop, and they got an amazing program over there at the community. I would still call New Jerusalem Community Center. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But they have an amazing situation over there where young people are able to get off the street, whatever, and go hoop. If I was young, I'd be playing, but your boy too old for that. I'm just coming out the ACL, the Achilles a couple years ago, so I ain't been back out there since.
You sound like Al Bundy. I scored 4 touchdowns in a high school game. Like,
listen, man, I ain't been out there in a minute, bro. If you see how I'm moving out here, you be like, dog, you need to stay from out there. But yeah, man, let's jump right into it, man. Our Sixers, man, like, what are we gonna do, man? Like, our Sixers look like community trash out there, man.
Been here, man. Like, I'm just used to it. I'm just honestly, the best thing about this season right now is Nick Nurse. Like, I'm interested to see what he already got Springer playing. He's tinkering with some lineups. He got some people playing some good minutes. So I know for a fact what I'm gonna get from him that I didn't get from Doc is I'm gonna know for a shadow of a doubt if what is on the bench is better than what's on the floor. Because Doc is star driven, which is fine. You're supposed to depend on your stars. But at some point, it was certain matchups where I was like, hey, get some other blood in here. PJ Tucker, he's in concrete at the 3-point line. He ain't moving. He ain't cutting. He ain't doing nothing. Get some athleticism there. You had Springer on the bench. You had all types of athleticism on the bench. And you notice an old and lumbering team. Get some youth and some juice into the offense. So that's what I'm looking forward to. As far as the James Harden stuff, personally, if you're going to disrespect the uniform that Doc played in, Barkley played in, AI played in, and gave their all for, I don't need you in that uniform. Like, just stay home. Like, just don't come. Like, don't disrespect Philadelphia like that. We're blue collar. We work. We show up to work. Like, and we get paid pennies. You get paid millions, and you like, yeah, well, I feel disrespected. At $35 million a year, yeah, get your ass on the court. So that's how I feel about the Sixers, man. I'm locked in on Eagles. Phillies right now, and the Sixers are in my peripheral. I'll start as closer we get to tip off, that's when I'll start really paying attention to what they doing. But from the outside looking in, I'm over that drama.
Facts. I'm kind of there too with the whole James Harden debacle, like him going back and forth to Daryl Moore. I've been over Daryl Moore. I've been telling y'all that for years. I don't think he's that great. So at the end of the day, I'm with you. I just kind of saw it coming, and I'm kind of over it. I would like to see if we can get some of those young guys playing and how that would look. A lot of times when guys start, deciding they're gonna, hold out, but the fact that he showed up day one shows that he knows that, hey, I can't hold out. They're not gonna pay me no money if I'm out of shape or fat or whatever. So maybe he'll play his way into a good trade or a good situation to be traded into. So that's a little different than what he normally does. So at the end of the day, I'll take what I can get. If he can help us win some games, then cool. If he can't, then okay, cool. We can get rid of him. But turning this team into the Philadelphia Rockets wasn't what it was doing.
Not the Philadelphia Rockets.
They were, bro. Now we got Pat Bev, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, we got Pat Bev's a menace though. I love it. I do
too. I'm here for it. I'm here for his post game antics and stuff like that. So
because think about it, JD. How many times in the playoffs would people during the race people take little shots at Embiid and do stuff, and we had nobody that was like, no, that's our star, like a Giannis, like a LeBron, like
Facts.
any other superstar. They always had that enforcer that's like, yeah, nah, that's if he's out, we're out of jobs. Like, nah, you're not gonna do that. And I think Pat Bev is gonna be that dude. He don't care. He don't care.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. And I'm just gonna transition that into some talks. People catching a lot of shots right now. There's been a lot of shots taken at my man Dion, aka Prime, Coach Prime, and the Colorado Buffs. I'm a biker. I don't know if you know what that is. I'm gonna explain to you. I'm a Buffalo Tiger. So right now, I'm pulling for Buffalo and I'm pulling for Clemson because they never played each other. So that's where I'm at with it. But what are your thoughts right now on Buffalo?
I think Dion is doing what Dion has always did throughout his life, throughout his career. He makes you pay attention to him. He is prime time. He can talk. He can entertain. And let's be honest, he's on a very short hand of, if not probably one of the greatest, just athletes in the history of all time. Like Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, athletic, athletes, and he was good at what he did. Hall of Famer, arguably the best cornerback of all time. And what he did for the HBCUs, and then translated that over to Colorado. That's big. That's huge. And I think the hate that Dion is getting is, let's be honest, you got a lot of palm-colored coaches that's been lifers and has been waiting for jobs, and then Dion, he gets a Colorado job. They didn't even have the money, and he was like, they'll figure it out. That's how bad they wanted Dion. And you got coaches that hate him, and the media hates brash, loud, black athletes, and a little of it I can understand because this is a show me sport. You gotta prove it. After all the hype goes down, what are you doing on the field? And I think he's succeeding there. But the best thing I love that Dion said, if you want to jump on me now. Because once I'm able to recruit, it's over. So,
yeah,
they're right where a lot of people thought they would be because of their offensive line and some of their void of talent. But once Dion starts going into living rooms and talking to people, mama's babies and stuff like that, he's going to get the cream of the crop athletes, and Colorado is going to be something to reckon with.
I very much agree with that point. We always kind of differ in some of our thought processes. I actually want to take another approach to Dion for the first time that I've done in a while, because I just haven't really been vocal about it, just because I do coach sports and I try to stay away from the whole Dion situation. Dion has basically showed me how to coach better. And I mean that to say, hey, in high school, you can't recruit. Like I can't go into people's living rooms and grab kids or whatever. But what Dion showed me in the last couple of years is that I'm very good at social media. I do social media really, really well. I can make videos, I can make posts, I can take pictures. And so like I use that as a way to highlight kids. Like I don't no, I don't have millions of dollars. I don't have NIL money to give your kid, but at the end of the day, like I know that the product that we put out is a good product. Like we're gonna teach your kids how to be men, and we're gonna also highlight your kids. Like if they doing something good, we're gonna make sure everybody knows about it. It's not gonna be the best kept secret because that's not what we need to do here. We need to highlight kids, make sure kids are getting recruited, make sure that they know that hey, down here in Greater South Carolina, there's plenty of avenues to get recruited here. We have a good team, we have a good set of coaches, and we have a good school as well. So that's just my thing. I've learned that from Dion. Dion was over there where he was at, and they didn't really have anything. Oh, we got people checking in here. You got Reginald checking in. Love that dog. Pet Bev is also, but they love the Kelly Oubre signing. Giannis saying LeBron in the building. Smiley face. I don't know what that's about. Hey Prince. We got people just checking in to say what's up to Prince. But just kind of to wrap up the whole part about Dion is be careful, like you said, be careful because if you don't catch him now, he's going to do something major and he's going to end up being almost unbeatable. You know what I'm saying? So be real careful about how y'all are talking about Prime without no offensive line and defensive line yet.
What Dion is going to be, and listen, I'm not saying he's going to be this person in terms of success in championships, but Dion is going to end up being
Nick Saban
on a Nick Saban level, where just the fact that Dion is vouching for you, teams are going to rate you a little bit higher. Like if you're a cornerback, you're going to get rated higher in a Dion system. If you're a wide receiver, you're going to look at already what he's doing with Henry both ways. Yeah. He's going to be a scout's dream because they're going to be like, okay, where's he going to make the most money? Where's he going to be the most productive? And he got two positions to pick from. And he could be a top 10 pick in both of them. That's how good this kid is. So once Dion start touching these kids and promoting them, and they start being on more TV, even though it's at 10 p.m.
On some nights it's on TPM. Only sometimes it's at 10 p.m.
Oh, sometimes on TPM. He's going to make a lot of kids a lot of money. He's going to secure a lot of generational wealth for a lot of kids. So
yeah,
I'm rooting for Dion. Number one, there's not a lot of black coaches in any sport. So that's why when people try to like down him and stuff like that, especially our own community, I'm like, dummies. There's not a lot of black coaches, and he's on the up and up. Dion ain't, as far as we know right now, he ain't with the bullshit. So we got to support Dion, and we got to make sure that he keeps all the support he can, because it's but such a handful of black coaches. And if the media's pissed and other coaches are pissed, then he's doing something right. So let's ride out with it.
I'm with it. We're gonna pivot here. We're gonna go talk a little bit about right now. Like right now, we've been talking a little bit about the NBA. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL. Like there's two teams that have kind of showed themselves to be the front runners, which I would say is the San Francisco 49ers and your Philadelphia Eagles. They both lost last weekend, which is, uncanny that they both lost to like really, really bad teams. But at the same time, it's just the NFL. Like there's no layups for real. It's not like college. You kind of don't know who's going to, lose. The NFL is unpredictable. So, speak about your Eagles, man. And I'll talk about the San Francisco 49ers and what I kind of think.
Oh, God. Them yahoos, trifecta hour in the building. Listen, when it comes to my Eagles, -4 in the turnovers. I think I saw a stat where they said teams that have been -4 in a turnover battle are like 1 for 29. You're not going to win a game when you turn the ball over 4 times. The Jets defense is big time. Like they're like stingy. They did this to Mahomes. They've done this to Allen, and now they've done this to Hurts. So that defense is legit. And when you give them more opportunities to score, they're going to win. So the Jets did what they had to do. my hat's off to them sorry ass poverty stricken Jets. But my Eagles, today's Wednesday. We got to bounce back. We got the Dolphins. We ain't got time to worry about the Jets. We got to face this gauntlet schedule. And I will say this about Jalen Hurts. You know what's funny? His almost MVP year that got him money was because for the first time since I think high school, he had the same offense for 2 years in a row. And now coming off of that, new offensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach, and now look how he looked. Like the chemistry is it's like off. So but they're still winning. They're 5-1. So I'm not pressing the alarm button, but please stop putting them up there. Tyreek Hill, ain't nobody worried about Tyreek Hill. But I'm not pushing the panic button on them because they're 5-1. But there's definitely some things they need to clean up, and 80% of it is health, because they still have, when they're healthy, they still have one of the top 5 rosters in the NFL. So that part I'm not worried about. They just got to get health.
And like you said, that you mentioned something about their schedule. It's a gauntlet. Like I don't know if it was made to be that way, but they went and got this schedule set up, and it's like the Dolphins weren't like that when the schedule at first, I guess, probably figured the schedule out. The Dolphins were probably a bad team still. So like they got bad team, and then now they're a good team, and you got to deal with that 3-headed monster with Mostert, Waddle, and Tyreek Hill. So and then Tua can stay. It's Tua healthy, so long as Tua's healthy, that's always going to be a problem. It's because he's slinging that thing around to some dudes who can really go get it. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. I think it's too close to bet on it. Just me personally, I won't touch that game with a 10-foot pole.
Well, the latest line is Eagles -2.
I'm not taking that. That's less than a field goal.
I'm not even a gambler, and I'm not touching that. -2.
That means you can sneeze and lose your money. I don't want to touch that. I'm not touching that. Like anything under
safety.
3,
they gonna get a safety.
I'm good. I'm not touching that, man. San Francisco also struggled this last weekend. Took a L to a team they shouldn't have lost to. In a weird game, they lost. I'm pretty sure they lost players. Like players were going down, so it's a lot of injuries and stuff happening. There was a fight. It's just a lot of stuff going down. So, but I'm also not worried about San Francisco. I think San Francisco will figure it out. They'll figure a way to kind of period and get themselves back in the race, especially with health, and they'll get some bye weeks so people can get kind of healthy and they'll work through some things. I do believe that the NFC runs through San Francisco or through Philly, and maybe it might be them two just meeting at each other, and just whoever wins it is gonna win the whole thing. I think Kansas City is weak this year, even with the Swifties. I think that they're a little weaker than most people are giving them credit for.
But that defense is holding them down, and they got Pat Mahomes. You know what's weird? Like, people still say they got like a top whatever roster, and 90% of it is because they have Pat Mahomes and Kelce. If they did not have that, like, they would be a bottom 5 roster. But Mahomes is just that good. Kelce is just that good that if you have those two healthy, you're going to pick them in any game.
Listen, I had to bring up the Swifties because that's bringing a lot of commentary towards the NFL. I'm not saying that, and honestly, to be real with you, they probably encouraging her to come. Like, they probably like, hey, it ain't like the Kardashians curse. They probably like, hey,
that's fake. It's a plant. It's a plant.
What? Swifties?
No, the Taylor Swift thing, that's a plant. Like, her and Travis Kelce are not dating. I don't care what nobody say.
Listen,
if you look at his dating history, no, I'm good.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. And the only thing I'm saying is my man's been trying to take shots at her for years. Like, he's been on record trying to get at her for years. And I don't know.
Because he's trying to secure the bag. That's like putting a baby in Oprah.
Listen, I'm not mad about that either. Like, if you want to show up with Oprah, like, then that's good. Listen, sometimes remember back in the day they used to arrange marriages. This ain't no different than that. Offering the dowry.
What's gotten to Oprah? My seed, son.
He said, I know they paying her to come at this point. Like, they ain't paying her, bro. Like, and I'm not gonna hate on the Chiefs. I think, like I said, I just think that they're a little weaker than most times. I have a bonus topic, man. I want to talk about this. So, like sometimes, like in the world of sports, like, I deal in like high school sports. So, you get your top players, like every so often they'll come out with the McDonald's All-American top 50 or top 25 or whatever. But like when you're reading all these, statistics, maybe on Twitter or Instagram or wherever they're putting these lists out, like there's always these lists that come out about these kids. And it's like the top 20 in South Carolina, they got the top 100, top 80, whatever. And it's broken down by age group. So that was a situation that had happened where, they were breaking down, the top 40, top 50 players. And so my biggest issue with this is, and as a coach, I have to kind of hold myself back because of talking about this, but this is my podcast, so I'm gonna talk about what I want to. But I just feel like if a person is not going to games and not seeing players play, how are they effectively going to, evaluate talent and or give out ratings? Regardless if it's 120, whatever, because it's like kids will be like, they'll be put at the wrong school, or they are put in the wrong position, and so on and so forth. So I feel like evaluating talent needs to be done on a case-by-case basis as you go and see the kid, or he comes to your camp and then you then evaluate him. I don't think you should be able to evaluate him or her based on hearsay or, hey, like, I know you from Instagram. I see your highlights. Like, that's not how you should evaluate talent. Because everybody's putting out highlights. Like, you can look at the worst guy, but that's not how you should do it. Like, you should be evaluating talent based on you sat through the game, you watched the entire game, or you watched an entire game footage, not just, hey, you sitting there with your friends, or you talking about your, like, how me and you talking, I'm telling you about this kid, and then you go put out a rank and say, oh, he's the best player I've ever seen. You never seen him. And I notice what people are doing, or just changing lists that other people have already put out, maybe one or two players, and saying, oh, well, I don't think he's third, I think he's fourth. Like, but why? Just to go against the grain?
But that's where coaches and scout have to do their due diligence. Like, if you have a scout that really is passionate and good at what they do, you go through that list and you make sure that they're on an up and up. Pretty much, you got to have people that you trust.
Fact.
Like if you got people in the media or people in recruiting offices or whatever that you trust, be like, hey, this list, tell me about number 4. And then, if you trust that guy, then you do more investigating on that. You invest more resources in that. But the days of just taking people's word for it is over. And what you're going to see now, you're going to see who has the money. Because if you have the money to send people to waste time on if you have the money to see people waste time on other recruits, then the rich are going to keep getting richer. So, you might have to pack up in your Pacer and go see somebody at a rival high school and see if they really about it. But if not, then I guess you just gonna keep letting the rich get richer. That's how it is, man. It's always been that. Whoever has the money, whoever has the resources, get the best players.
And I'm with that, and I'm okay with I'm okay with that, because that's the narrative. Like, hey, like, listen, the Dukes of the world, the Alabamas of the world in football, they're going to continue to be able to go into anybody's living room and recruit anyone. That's just how it works. My issue with it, though, is like, you're taking kids who don't necessarily have a dog in the fight or even have a choice in the matter, who may really be better, but you're putting kids above them because of they showed up at your tournament, or they've played in certain games or played around you and you just happen to be there, but you haven't spent any time watching film on this kid. Like, you haven't done any of that. You haven't come to games. You haven't sat through practices. Like, so my thing is, you're hurting that kid in the process of his recruitment because you are ill-informed, or you haven't taken the time, or you're being lazy and you just want to make a small change to a top 25 list. And there's nobody checking you. There's no fact checkers like, hey, well, let's look at these two kids. And because you'll be wrong as a coach like myself, if I was to sit down and take film on two different kids, if one of my kids is ranked lower than another kid, I say, hey, listen, this kid is ranked here, but this is the kid they say is ranked above him. I'd be tearing the other kid down. So in theory, that's the only way to prove these guys wrong, these different media outlets wrong that are getting it wrong, is to sit down and say, hey, let's look at film from these two players, or let's take the head-to-head battle when they play each other. And then there's no one there. Like even when the contest is happening and our kids or somebody else's kids are playing against someone, there's no way to debate it. So if one of our kids let's say if one of my kids goes out here and outperforms another kid, like there's no way I can write in and say, hey, by the way, those two played head to head and he punished them. Like there's no way to do it. But yet we're gonna put this list out.
But JD, this is kids have the same social media as some of these people got. So if you have a school in mind, you never know what your highlight video, whose computer, whose hands it may end up in. At Duke, at Alabama, at Georgia, at Tennessee, at them, be like, hey. And then somebody somewhere be like, hey, Dad, look at this guy. Oh, let me call the recruiting. Hey, my daughter just showed me a video of this highly athletic wide receiver, this highly athletic point guard. Is he on any of the lists you gave me? No, sir. Why not? That's how you start. That's how people start saying, okay, well, what are my scouts doing? Because this guy is a sensation and he's not on my list and he's about to go to a rival school. So nobody's going to care more about you than you. If you feel like you're better than the four above you and you got an inkling of what schools they're going to, fuck it. Tag them in a Twitter. Tag them in a Twitch. Tag them in a YouTube. Tag them. Do it. I mean, what is it going to hurt?
The worst they can tell you is no.
Right. The worst thing they can say is no. And then you get it up out the mud. You go to different schools and you do it that way.
I'm all for it. I'm all for the, betting on yourself. I'm all for parents stepping in and saying, hey, whatever. Because back in the day when I was coming up, it was no recruiting services. There was that stuff didn't exist. Like there was no real rivals. Rivals had really just come out. People weren't really using rivals. And if you didn't have a subscription, you couldn't even look at the stuff. So back in them days, it was a huge thing. But at this point in the day, anybody with a cell phone and a camera and a Twitter or whatever can sit here and make these lists and say who they think is good. I'm not saying it just because it affects my kids. It affects every kid now. Every kid that can get on the internet and can put up a video of themselves for 10 or 15 seconds or make a highlight clip. Because there's so many people around here that do it. They just make highlight clips. And it can make that kid look like he's the best player in this area. But in reality, once you really sit down and break down a whole video, kid had 17 turnovers. He might have had 20 points, but he had 17 turnovers. Or he has a bad attitude. So they're not really getting a full picture. So I'm wondering if some of these services aren't just looking at highlight clips and saying, oh, dude, raw. Because dude might be raw. Dude might got a 40-inch vertical. But dude also might be a nightmare to coach. He might also be a basket case. He might also can't hit the wide side of the bar shooting the ball. So, or catching it or whatever. So I'm just always in the mindset that you have to sell yourself. You have to bet on yourself. You have to be, as a parent myself, because I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old that play sports. Hey, how do we market them? How do we put them out there to get them that advantage or to give them the eyes that they need? Because I know they can, once they get there, they're going to perform. I just need them to get in front of the right people.
Well, like Kenneth said, you got to sell yourself, man. You got to sell yourself. What's stopping you from getting a list? And if you see 10 people on the list that you're like, no, ain't better than you. Hey, man, who's looking at these? Hey, this person has potential 4 schools looking at them. I ain't saying go hate on them to a school, but hey, I see you looking for a point guard. Check these out. Facts.
And Ayana here is making some good points. So I'm going to re-see hers. Hold on, let's see. Let me go. She says, that's when you have to do your own research on who's promoting and ranking these kids. It all boils down to research. It really do boil down to who's doing the research. You need to let your kids Kid Russell A1. Yeah, they need to. Not to put out too much information, but yeah, that's a huge factor. Being able to, be accountable to the list. You know what I'm saying? And then it's so many of these people that they don't have a face that is attached to it. So even if you did have an issue with the list, or you can't even invite the person to a game to let them get a chance to see the kid. Don't stand behind these logos. Like, get out here in front of these people. If you're gonna be man enough to put this list out, be out here, be a person of the people. Like, get out here with these fans and these people and show your face, and have a face that's attached to the program or to the service, because the end of the day, we all make mistakes. People gonna get left out. It's a small list, and there's a lot of people playing. So if you leave somebody out, okay, cool. But like, be man or be woman enough to say, hey, listen, this is a kid that I might have missed, but this kid's on the rise, and be woman or man enough to say that. I don't care that you got it right all the time. I care about how you plan on going forward. And Sean is making some good points. Like, we was in the school around the same time. And Kenneth is being true. Like, they didn't have this stuff when it was coming up. So like, take advantage of it, kids. If you're a parent of a student athlete, like, take advantage of the stuff that's around you. Take it. And I'm telling y'all for the last time on this podcast, everybody is not a trainer, for crying out loud. I promise you, everybody is not. There's too many dudes that run around with these training monikers for everybody to be a trainer. Everybody's not a trainer.
I'm a trainer.
You may be, but what kind of trainer? And that's you know what I'm saying? Like, I can get in front of any kid and cuss them out if I need to. Like, I can yell at you, make you feel like about as big as the sun. They don't make you a good trainer. That makes you a semi half decent motivator. But everybody, and my thing is, and the one thing I hate, and I know somebody's gonna get mad at me for saying this, but I don't care. The two basketball things. You'll see kids in the gym dribbling 2 balls at a time, 2 balls pounding up, down. Then they get in the game. They can't even beat the trap. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's just my personal opinion. I know, there'll be some people out here that say, it's for hand-eye coordination. I get all that, but you never in the game are ever going to have to dribble 2 balls in the game. I need you to take this 1 ball and get that ball from one end of the court to the other and start this offense. And it's too many times I'll see kids in the gym, all these highlight clips, and dudes in the gym, 2 balls, covering their eyes, and they going behind their back. And then I watch them in a real life game, and little Johnny can't get the ball past the free throw line on the opposite side of the court. He didn't have to call for help 3 times for somebody to come on a one-on-one full court press. He ain't even getting trapped. He just full court pressing them, one man to man. So please be careful of who y'all taking y'all kids to. Everybody's not a trainer. I know everybody says they are a trainer. Everybody that got an LLC is not a trainer either. That just means that they pay some money to become a business so they can get paid. Saying write these checks. That don't mean they got the pedigree and or the business savvy or coaching savvy to be coaching. And I'm not saying that all high school coaches got it, because all high school coaches got it either. But I'm telling you that it's a lot more stuff that goes into being a high school coach than you going out here and get your LLC and going to a gym and renting out some basketball time, court time. Like, that ain't the same. One will get you fired and you will be looking for a new job, and the other day just gonna say, hey bro, don't train no more kids. So that's my rant on that. Prince, you got anything to add?
That's it, man. Just don't coach.
Everybody is a trainer. I don't know, Yana. When we was playing, everybody wasn't no trainer, man. And I think that still holds true. And I think that's where we mess up. I think we start taking rules and we start moving them because it's a different time. And I think that's half the reason why we in the mess that we in, where kids are super soft. You can't say nothing to them. You gotta, oh, come on, Johnny, don't do that again. Don't, bro, I'm from Greer, South Carolina, and that is not how you talk to kids. Like, I'm telling you, that is not, you're not going to get, little Johnny is going to laugh at you when you turn your back, and they're going to tell you, like, watch what I do to him next. And they're going to be somewhere having you pressed up, stressed out, and you're going to be looking all crazy because you didn't handle them the way. Like, they're not rough kids, but they need to be handled a certain type of way. Like, they're not going to respect you going in there. All right, John, let's talk about this. You're being very, very bad right now. Like, that's not how it's where I'm going to put you on timeout. That's not how it works. Because they need tough love. Like, hey, man, if you do that junk again, you're not going to play no more. You're coming over here and sit by me for the rest of the game. And then you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to sit them over there with you. As painful as it is.
Well, I got to sit with you. If I get an extended break sitting next to the coach, I'm good.
I mean, it depends. If you really like that, then you're not going to want to be over there with me. Now, if you just really just like that,
I don't want to be next to the coach.
Listen, if you just out here for a jersey and possibly maybe getting a date on Friday night, then maybe you cool with that. Then that football,
apple slices and snacks at the end of the game. That's me. I'm there.
And then you got the guy with the perfectly clean jersey at the end of the game. He decided that every time you look down, he like fixing his shirt. making sure his socks like at the
Look
right height.
good, feel good, play good. Deion Sanders
Yeah,
said.
but you gotta play good. That's the point. Play good. You can't just stay good. You gotta play good. Last topic, man. We gonna get around to it. That was kind of one I wanted to get to. I didn't want you to know about that one. I went to hit you with that one. But man, right now we talked a little bit about the Eagles. We talked a little bit about the Sixers, and right now the Phillies are playing up 2-0 in the bottom of the sixth. Listen, like Philly, like what is happening right now? Like why has there been so much just good coming out of Philly? The Eagles are pretty much popping right now. You know, we talked about this a couple years ago, like how nobody wanted to play in Philly, but it looks like everybody want to play in Philly right now.
It's a renaissance, man, because when people don't understand, when you're a Philly fan, you absolutely love your teams and you're knowledgeable and you understand. Get out of here!
It's gone, buddy. That's the second
Get
one for
out of
tonight.
here!
Boom. 3-0 Phillies.
That's 2.
That's 2 for him. Run it up.
See what I'm saying? When you're
I really want some dudes. You know that I'm a Philly fan. Let's go Mets. What? They still got a team? Get out of here. He needs to have something good in his life. I'm with you.
I'm sick of them. Don't worry about them. Those are my 2 trifecta co-hosts. I'll talk about that later. But
all right, we'll get on that.
When you're a Philly fan, like you love your teams, like you support your teams, like you give them tough love, and you know when they're capable of doing better. And people want to play for it. Believe it or not, breaking news, some athletes still want to be held accountable. Some athletes still want the spotlight. Some athletes still love the grind. And some athletes still want to be great. And in Philadelphia, when you win here, like you don't have to buy a beer. You don't have to buy a pretzel. You don't have to buy shit because you're for life. And Philly is just an awesome sports town. I know I'm saying it because I'm part of it, but there's no fan like a Philly fan. Like, think about it. When you got a Philadelphia fan, who do they like? Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Phillies.
They normally are 4 for 4. Like normally
4
for or 5 for 5.
Right. When you got a Yankees fan, what are they? Duke, Cowboys, Lakers. Like they all over the fucking place.
Fair enough. I'm not mad about it. That's fair enough. And they do, and I want to say this, man. Like when living in Philly for 5 to 7, I think I was there. I might have been there for 7 years, but living in Philly for so long, like I was around it. Like I was around the tailgates. I was around going to the games. We doing the pre games. We doing the after games. Like you're dealing with the media of Philly, especially working in the media game. I was dealing with a lot of 97.5 and the people that everybody hates. But being ingrained in that culture, it kind of is contagious. Like I was always a Sixers fan, but just kind of like being around it so closely. Not only did I start to really hate Doc Rivers, but I also got to see it really, really close. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain knowledge about Philly fans that there is a certain type of knowledge that they have. And I always make the comparison to my hometown. And your father-in-law, for example, he's at game. He don't got a kid out there, don't have a grandchild out there, nothing. He loves it. And I'll see him at games. The fan base of Greer, South Carolina, at Greer High School, they just know their sports. Like all of them. It don't matter. They just know it.
He be in the car with me and he be listening to Greer Sports on his iPhone.
Yeah, on the radio.
Yeah, on the radio.
Listen, that's old head stuff. And that is what I'm talking about. That's the same type of love that come and think about it. If we had professional teams in Greenville or South Carolina in general, like they'd be going crazy. They have the same type of fervor that the Philly fans have. So listen, I can understand it. I believe in it. I know what it's worth. And on top of having all that, I do think Philly right now is really hot. Like it's hot to be a sports player there. You got Bryce Harper, you got Joel Embiid, you got Jalen Hurts. Them kind of the moniker. Well, I would say Kelsey's a little bit more popular than Jalen Hurts, but you just got dudes right now that are just like synonymous with the team, synonymous with the time. And right now, to be in Philly, it's an amazing time. And there's a lot of people that are hurting, a lot of fans hurting. Like my Steelers are not the worst, but we're definitely not the best. Listen, you better cool it. I haven't said nothing negative. we
But
we beat
Mike
the Ravens.
Tomlin to be 8-8, and they'll be like, he's never had a losing season.
You won't. I mean, and I'm gonna say this, and I'll be done with the Steelers. I'm actually kind of pissed off about that because the fact that he will not just lose so we can get a good draft pick will be just okay. We'll be just okay enough to say that we don't suck, but we won't get a pick. So then we'll just stay barely bottom of the barrel, kind of middle of the pack. And then we'll beat like the Ravens. Like, why would you want to beat them? Like, that's crazy. Like, let's take these L's. Let's get these picks. Like, because I need a quarterback. So we should be trying to get this Caleb Williams situation happening. But of course, we're gonna end up being, like you said, 8-8, still make the playoffs, and get busted in the first round in the wild card or whatever. So that's my piece about my Steelers. Prince, man, I know you said you made some comments. I know you're the co-host of the Trifecta Hour. Tell us about that and how it all works and where we can find it.
Oh, the Trifecta Hour is me, myself, Inked, and AJ there in the comments. 3 black conservatives. We talk real shit. We talk about politics. We talk about pop culture. We talk about policies. We talk about whatever that's plaguing entertainment, politics, the black community. We're genuine. We're serious about our craft. We give you entertainment while giving you real facts and real like we're real genuine about what we talk about. You can find us on the Trifecta Hour across all platforms. That's we're live every Friday at 8 p.m. Make sure you click the link to Trifecta Hour. Like I said, it's just we actually met on TikTok. We came together and we were 3 black conservatives that had a lot to say and people listened, and we came together like Voltron, and we just doing our shit. We about I want to say this week is going to be our 25th episode, and it's going strong, man. Thank everybody for the support. We're also in podcast form. Everything's Trifecta Hour. Everything. So if y'all want to hear some real shit and talk about fun things, entertainment, politics, and everything else under the sun, come join us, man. We appreciate all the love. But that's what I've been up to, man. You know me. That's what I do.
Listen, man. For those y'all who didn't know, man, Prince was with me for a while, quite some time until I came home, just because so much going on. I barely able to get a pod, and now I can't even produce a pod. So this is the first time I've been actually able to do my own pod in 6-8 months. Like, I've been able to get on my own. So I knew he was gonna move and do his thing, and I've always wanted him to like kind of grow. Like, that dude is solid as they come. He's always gonna stay 10 toes down. So Trifecta Hour, take care of my boy Prince, man. That's my guy. He got 25th episode on deck, and they saying, Prince, you sound too Trenton right now. But I will say this about Prince, man. A lot of people don't know this, man, but a lot of people really just don't know, just in general, like how deep, like the I guess the pride or just the respect I got for you. Prince is solid as they come, and he gonna take care of his people. He always gonna be there when he say he gonna be there, and if he can't be there, he gonna let you know so you ain't scrambling. So we wish you nothing but success. I know it was like originally it was like me, you, Carm, CJ, and then we had Chris with us. But since then, Carm is doing an actual TV show. She's actually on TV now in Delaware.
What?
She's actually on TV in Delaware, so she's doing that. So big ups to Carm. You doing
big ups to Carm, yo. I know that was TV. One of her things and one of your things for her, and it just shows. Everybody out there, when you're doing this podcast and you think 1 to 3 people is watching and it don't matter, it matters. Somebody is always watching. Work hard. Be consistent. You don't have to have $1 million or a high price production. Just be consistent. That's what people want.
Yep.
If you say you're going to be there Fridays at 8 or whatever day and time you're going to be there, just be there and they will show up. Trust me. Shout out to Carm. Shout out to my trifecta hour people.
Facts.
As you see, Ink and AJ in the comments.
Facts.
That's just a fraction, a smidge of what we do. You know, we're no holds barred. So, like I said, if you don't want to have a good time, don't come up in there. But if you do want to have a good time, come up in there because we're going to give you the real. We're going to be genuine, and we're not going to hold our tongues. So,
Still haven't figured out TikTok. Even though like I'm a master on social media, still haven't figured out TikTok.
Don't worry about TikTok. No, don't worry about TikTok. Don't worry about it.
You remember you told me that. I remember you was like, "Yo, Daddy, don't worry about TikTok." I'm still
I'm telling you, don't worry about TikTok. It's a different beast over there, and the stuff you got to do over there to go viral. That's not you. That's not your blood. So,
I feel you. I rock with you.
Yeah.
So we know the trifecta hour is coming up Friday night, 8:00 p.m. You can find it by just searching that. Is anything else you got in the works? Anything else? I mean, are you a doctor yet? Like, what's going on with that?
Oh, I'm still in school.
Facts.
It'll be 2 years January. I start my dissertation, I think, in the spring. So I'm still plugging along.
Okay.
Oh yeah, make sure y'all check out ajsrantroom.com. That's my homie AJ's website. He got a lot of he got gear for everybody. He got shirts, bags, hoodies, hats, whatever you need, he got it. Make sure you check that out. But yes, I am still pursuing my doctorate in criminal justice, and I just want to wear the white robe for like a week straight after I get my doctorate. I'm just gonna come on to YouTube and just sit here, live stream, and just be sitting here. So
I'm not mad about it. I think you should, man. I think anybody put that much hard work into getting anything is worth it. I'm hoping that my year I get another ring to go on my finger, and so that grid jersey in the back I have another state championship plaque above the top of it. So that's kind of my goals for the year.
You'll do it, man. You'll do it, man. My the way my father-in-law talks about you, man. I always knew JD. You was when you coach, man. It's nothing. You got such a passion for these kids, man, and the way you're setting them up on social media and stuff like that. That's why, man, we need more black coaches like you that's mentoring these young kids and got them going on the right path and advocating for them. So, man, just keep doing you, man.
Appreciate it. I tried to keep the Hall of Fame pictures off the internet, but somehow my players got a hold to it. So that junk is in heavy circulation. My picture been, and that I somehow made it on TikTok. My picture made it on TikTok before I actually got a TikTok. So like my picture's been all over the place, like my Hall of Fame picture. So, big ups, man, to my team and the Girl Yellow Jackets. We about to try to do something special this year. Hopefully we get to, put some banners up in that in the rafters, but. Big ups to them. They got a hard week. They got boot camp this week. We do like a boot camp with them, and got the military come in and they put them through all kind of like strenuous, like mind messing with them, like messing their brain up, and like coming in, putting them through all these like stressful situations and letting them kind of really just use each other, almost similar to like a SEAL training, but without being as strenuous, but just like the kind of like mental pressure that it takes to kind of do those things, man. But right now the Phillies are in school. They got one in scoring position, one on first.
2
outs. Yeah, so this is bottom of the sixth still. Diamondbacks cannot get out this inning. So Prince, man, it's been a blood pleasure, all love talking to you. I hope we won't go this long without talking again, especially on the internet, on the interwebs or whatnot. You got anything else you want to say to the people before you go?
Just throw up the bat signal. You know I'll be there. Again, I can't stress enough to the people that's in here. Trifecta Hour across all platforms. Please like and subscribe. Check us out. You won't be disappointed. Appreciate y'all. Thanks. Appreciate you, JD.
No problem, man. Shout out to my girl Inked and my guy. It looks like AJ. Is that AJ?
Yes.
And shout out to AJ, man. Take good care of my guy Prince. Until next time, man. We out. Deuces.